we'll see matrix plot. In order to find the correlation between and with many input and output. See, now if you want to do correlation, we are taking one parameter and another parameter and we are plotting the R square value. But if there are many parameters and you want to see relation between two inputs and input and output, then we can use matrix plot. Let us see how we can use. Let us see the below example for one output and many input correlation. So here dimension they have taken. What is dimension? This is your output. Temperature, viscosity, load, pressure, speed, density, cooling time, torque. All these are input parameters. So now we are going to see with the help of matrix plot what and all which input parameters correlating with output. So the advantage of matrix plot is at a time you can correlate with one input with all the other input as well as with the output. So this is how the matrix plot will look. So you can ignore the other half because it is nothing but the mirror of this. Now we can analyze any of the side. Now if you see here dimension and temperature, there is no correlation, it is scattered. That means temperature is not causing your dimension problem. Then when you come here dimension and viscosity, still the correlation is scattered, there is no correlation. Like that dimension can be analyzed for all the rest of the input parameters. See, this is dimension versus load, then dimension versus pressure, dimension versus density, dimension versus speed, cooling time and torque. So for dimension and rest of the parameters there is no correlation at all. So where is the correlation? Let us see. So now we can see here there is a correlation. That is a straight line. Here there is a correlation, and here there is a correlation. Three area we are finding correlation. So what are those three areas? Let us analyze. So this is the first one. What is this? This is a correlation between temperature and load. That means as the temperature increases, the load is also increasing. Or in other case, if the load is increasing, the temperature is also increasing. So in the data, we need to see which one is an editable parameter. Correct? Then we can conclude. Then if you come to the second one, it is about temperature and speed. So for temperature and speed, there is a positive correlation. So as the temperature increases, the speed can increase, or when the speed increases, the temperature will also increase. So two we have found. And third one is, this is the third one, there is a straight line. That means there is a correlation. Load versus speed. So as the load increases, the speed also increases, or the speed increases, the load also increases. So matrix plot will help us to analyze at a time comparing the correlation between all the parameter with one to many. So matrix plot is a tool that we can find the relation between many variables and do design of experiments, DOE, design of experiments with the significant variables in order to achieve the significant output. So by doing matrix plot, we can find out which are the significant variable and we can fix it. So now if you see in this example, temperature is having a correlation for two other input parameters, not with the output. Okay, so we need to fix temperature, load and speed. We need to fix. That means we should never touch these three parameters. When you touch any one, the other one will affect. Because of the other one affecting, there may be an no correlation with the output, or there may be an other effect which are not able to measure in the terms of output. Now we are seeing as a dimension, we don't know whether internal property has changed or not. So that is an advantage of matrix plot. We can do design of experiment with the after analyzing the matrix plot as well. So next we'll see PDCA cycle. So what is a PDCA cycle? PDCA is a four-step management method used in business for the control and continuous improvement of processes and products. It is also known as a Deming's cycle. So W. Edward Deming has invented this cycle. So what they're telling, it is a management method used in business for control and continuous improvement. So any activity you are performing, any project you are doing, you can follow the PDCA cycle. So William Edwards Deming was an American engineer, statistician, professor, author, lecturer, and management consultant. Let us see what is PD cycle. For any activity that you're going to do, first you'll plan it. So what is plan? What are all required? How much time it will take? Who will do it? How will do it? All the planning activity, when we will do it. All the things we'll plan in the planning phase. Then we'll do perform, do plan to check act. So perform is as per the plan, you will run the activities and see. After running the activity, you check or you record the data whether everything is gone as per the plan or not, and you act on the data. Okay, everything is went as per the plan and everything was okay. If there isn't a problem, what we will do, we will again replan and change the activity. So this is plan, do, check, act. So this helps us in doing the activity or in a project in a systematic manner without missing any key point. Now we'll see instrument correlation. So what is instrument correlation? As we discussed, we cannot use R square method, because if there is a difference, it will show relation is there. In order to qualify the instrument, we shall use the below delta method. What is delta method? Let us see. Option 1. Delta between the master instrument and other instrument shall be less, can be with 6 times the least count, the difference. Say example, your CMM least count is 6 micron, 0.006 mm. That means 6 micron is the least count. So what they're telling is your uh, your difference between your master instrument and the new purchase instrument can be 6 times the, sorry, 1 micron, 6 micron, sorry, 1 micron. CM least count is, let us say 1 micron, 0.001 mm. 1 micron is your least count. So as per this formula, it is telling your difference between your new CMM machine and the existing master CMM machine can be 6 times the least count of the instrument. It can be only 6 micron. How we are going to do this? Say your CMM1 A machine, CMM A example, CMM A is producing 10 mm. Okay, then CMMB can be 9.94, 9.994 or 10.006. Okay, both the side we are allowing like sigma here. So between this it comes, you can accept the same MB. Why? Because why they given 6 times the least count. This is for general inspection. If it is in a critical dimension, we need to see the tolerance. If your tolerance, this is applicable if your tolerance more than 100 micron totally. If your tolerance is more than 100 micron, we can consider this option 1. Least count. So least count of the measuring instrument. Correlation is equal to delta of master instrument minus other instrument should be less than the delta given here. Should be less than the 6 times the least count. That is applicable where the total tolerance for the given type of dimension should be more than 100 micron. Then 6 times the least count delta we can consider. This how we can qualify an instrument. Now let us see what is option 2. If the delta method is not feasible for the instrument, the delta between two instruments shall be less than 5% of the total tolerance. So this is for correlation, that general instrument correlation for option 1. That is when the total tolerance is more than 100 micron. Option 2, if that is not feasible, the tolerance are very tight for the dimension, then we can do option 2. What is option 2? What they're telling is the delta between two instruments shall be less than 5% of the total tolerance. Say if your 100 micron is your total tolerance, you can allow only 5 micron delta, either it can be positive or negative. That means your instrument is consuming 10 micron of different variation itself. Okay, so therefore the correlation is equal to delta of the master instrument minus other instrument, that can be less than 5% of total tolerance. So only in this way we can approve an instrument. So people generally use a correlation R square method, that is not correct. Now we'll see data collection plan. So now you understood how we can approve an instrument between two when new comes with the old one. Okay, fine. So now we'll see data collection plan. Data collection and plan. So what is data collection? Data collection is a process of gathering and measuring information and describing with a statically or statistically with a statistical tool in order to analyze and draw a conclusion from the data. So why we need data collection? We need to gather the information. Then only we can say where we are we progressing, or it is going the right direction. So that is, we can draw a conclusion from the data. Okay. The data shall tell us the current status of the process. So the data can tell us the what is happening right now. The current status of the process is can tell. And the second one is conclusion about the process. So what it can conclude, okay, it is out of specification, or it is low or high. Some conclusion the data shall give us. Then clue about the root cause. So when you collect the data machine wise or supplier wise, you should give a clue that because of this may be the root cause. So that is about clue about the root cause. Action towards solving the problem. So based on the data, it shall give some actions also to move forward. So data collection plan. So any type of data you want to collect, is it for 6 months or weekly or for the 1 year, based on the project that you selected. So we can have a plan and just collect the data. So now, so we can have part number, machine number, dimension which is going to collect. Then shift wise you're going to collect the data, or operator wise you're going to collect the data. Then machine wise you're going to collect the data. Part to part parameter and output data for correlation. So part to part you're going to take the data shots, and for the same shot you're going to take the parameter data as well as, and you're going to see whether parameter is contributing to the output variation or not. Okay. So now they are done a data collection here. As per the plan, the data is measured for the analysis. Just one of the example they given here. They collected the data. See, the problem they're taken is a dimension variation, right? So now they collected machine wise, because that particular shaft turning is happening both the machine. So machine A and machine B. So this is a data for machine A, 4.1, 4.2, and this is data, and this is the average of the data, and this is the standard deviation of the data. As well as they collected the machine B data and they plotted average and standard deviation. Now we have collected the data. Now how to analyze the data? So what they done, they have plotted, in order to analyze the data, they have plotted machine A and machine B data separately. Now if you analyze the machine A, probably it is within the specification 3 to 5, and it is tend to be in the center, and we say it is a okay process in the machine B. But if you see in the machine B, some are measuring within spec, that is towards USL, and most of the data are more than the USL. We can predict that machine B there is a problem. So that is an example. Now let us see data analysis. So just is that is the previous one what you saw is just an histogram. This is the continuation of that. So in data analysis, what we do, as per the data collection plan, all the data shall be collected and analyzed with the quality tools and draw the actions to find out the root cause. So we're going to collect the data and put it in a format or any analysis tool. Then we are going to find that root cause with the help of the data. Now, as we said, they have put in machine A and machine B. Okay, so what is the conclusion here? Machine A is producing mean result, whereas machine B is producing maximum dimension and also oversize. We cannot say machine B is a root cause. In machine B, what is the root cause? Is it a parameter change or is it some fixture change? So that we need to analyze. We'll analyze that in the root cause analysis we'll do in the analyze phase. Okay. Now, tools for data analysis. So we can use 7QC tools. Now we have used histogram as like that. We can use Pareto. We can do any of the 7QC tools for data analysis. Pareto chart we can use. CPCP analysis we can use. Correlation we can use. One-to-one delta method also, and we can keep on adding whichever is feasible to us for the data analysis. Now, after completing the data analysis, we can make a summary. So what is a summary? So as well as part number, machine number, dimension will be there. Shift wise correlation is there, not applicable. Machine wise correlation is there, yes. So we have found one significance here. Part to part correlation, there is no part to part correlation. Raw material wise correlation, no. Operator wise, no. Conclusion, machine B is producing high variation. So we can draw a summary chart based on your data collection summary. Now, actions for analyze phase. Now, we'll make actions on analyze phase in order to find out the root cause. The first one is working on machine B. We'll work on the machine B. Then what we'll do, we'll comparing machine A and B for all the parameters. So we all know machine A is producing okay. We'll compare machine A and machine B. And then what we also compare the machine A and machine B for cutters, tools, elements used in order to see whether there is a difference or not. After finding out the root cause, switching the potential cause on and off in order to confirm. Potential cause is nothing but a root cause. Okay. So once we find out the root cause between machine A and machine B, the major difference, that we need to switch it on and off. That means we need to keep it the same old parameter and new parameter and see whether dimension variation is there or not. So this is an actions for analyze phase. So next we'll enter into analyze phase. What we'll do in analyze phase, we'll create cause and effect diagram and we'll do Gemba investigation report. So here the CPK is less than 1 or the dimension variation is there. In method, what and all ways it can happen. Way of handling parts can be a different wrong method. Then coming to machine category, different machine used. Then raw material category, wrong input material. Then operator category, untrained operator. Then coming to tool, wrong cutter used. Coming to work instruction, wrong work instruction used. So we use fishbone diagram or cause and effect diagram to find out the root cause. So for each potential cause after doing fishbone diagram, we will do what? We will do Gemba, that means investigation workplace. Cross verify the potential causes in the workplace. We'll go to workplace and cross verify all these things. Then we'll do check method. That means we'll check the input and do correlation activity between parameter as well as we'll do for the output as well as input. Then we'll do Tukey test if required. Then we'll do YY analysis. Okay, so these are all things we can use in order to find out the root cause. Next, YY analysis. Let us see briefly what is YY analysis. YY analysis is also known as 5 Ys. 5 Ys is a very popular technique to identify root cause of a problem. By repeatedly asking the question why, we can peel away the layers of symptoms which can lead to the root cause of a problem. So what is why analysis? By asking why, we can go back to the root cause. Okay, let us see an example. So YY analysis format. This is a format for YY analysis. Here problem definition. Jump at the red signal. A person has crossed the red signal during the traffic. This one. So why? These are all the cause. Okay, we are going to ask why 5 times. Cause we are going to, these are the causes why he has jumped. Then corrective action we are going to take for each cause. Will be late for work. That is why he has jumped the red signal. Corrective action is not applicable. Okay. So why he jumped the signal is he told he will be late for work. Why he will be late for work? The second why question if you ask, he told I woke up late today. Okay, wake up loaded. Then why you woke up late today? Then again if you ask that question, alarm clock not set. He has not set the alarm clock. Okay, so the corrective action will be needs to set the alarm permanently. Then why you are not set the alarm clock, forgot to set. So a check sheet can be placed to before going to sleep to set the alarm. Okay. So now, because of he has not kept the alarm did not ring. Because the alarm did not ring, he woke up late. Because he woke up late, he rushed to the office and he tend to jump the signal. So forgot to set the alarm is the root cause. So by doing YY analysis, we can go to the root cause. After investigating the potential cause in the shop floor, we will end up in finding the root cause. We'll get 2 to 3 root causes that is really affecting by doing all the analysis tools. Just like that, we cannot accept the root cause. By switching it on and we're confirming some trials, we'll say yes, this is the root cause. Okay. So the first point that they got is in machine B, the tool metal is HSS. In machine A, it is carbide. When they did the analysis, they found machine A is producing okay. So machine B tool metal is HSS they are used, but whereas machine A is carbide. So there is the difference here. This is a root cause they have found out. Then in machine B the spindle RPM is 2000, whereas in machine A is 2500. So machine A which is giving okay, it is giving 2500 they are ran with the 2500 RPM, whereas in machine B they ran with 2000 RPM. These are the two causes or the root cause they are found by doing Gemba analysis. So after that, we'll make a root cause analysis summary. This is a root cause analysis summary report. What is the content? Tool metal is a content and spindle RPM is a content. In machine A, carbide they used. In machine B, HSS they used. In spindle RPM, 2500 is there, whereas in machine B it is 2000 only. So like this, we can make a root cause analysis summary. Okay. So that is about analyze phase. So this is what we'll get an analyze summary after doing completing the analyze phase. Then next we'll do input load stabilizing. What is input load stabilizing?